Today's society is in grave danger. People could wake up one day and discover they have lost half of their life. Psychiatric drugs are now widely utilized to treat depression and anxiety. Sadly, these medications are not particularly good at healing patients. Instead, they often act as nothing more than crutches for persistent psychological issues. Thankfully, there are other approaches to treating sadness and anxiety. In this video, we'll go to the famed psychiatrist Carl Jung for advice. First, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel by clicking the like button below the video. Notifications of new videos will be sent to you. Anxiety disorders are often linked by modern medicine to alterations in brain chemistry. This is still a common view among physicians, which is detrimental to their patients. As a result, there has been a concerning rise in the number of people who believe their sickness is solely physical. However, according to Jung, the majority of anxiety and depression instances are caused by a wrong way of living rather than a malfunctioning brain. Thus, his first strategy was to provide a dosage of psychological insight rather than a prescription. This comprehension entails realizing what life will bring and realizing the adjustments that must be made. Jung noted that a lot of people have the erroneous notion that hardships should be avoided, pain should be kept to a minimum, and life should be simple. However, he was honest with his patients, letting them know that life is difficult by nature. Our natural states are not ones of calm and comfort. It is unlikely that any kind of treatment can solve every problem. We need challenges in order to be healthy. We are grounded in reality when we accept that challenges are unavoidable and that worthwhile rewards are not acquired quickly. This realization acts as a spur for personal development because it makes us realize that building resilience is essential to living a happy and fulfilled life in the face of adversity. Conversely, if we continue to believe that life should be easy, we won't be motivated to develop our character. Erroneously, we could anticipate that life would suddenly become easier over time. According to Jung, life is, and has always been, a war. Existence itself would come to an end without trials. Jung's patients needed to hear this message. Our problems are occurring right now, because looking backwards won't always make them better. Many people believe that in order to change and advance in life, they must first understand why they are the way they are. However, Jung saw this as a method of eluding the actual task at hand. He thought that everyone would rather not examine himself to find the sources of their suffering. It's simpler to ignore such problems and move them far away in space and time. It appears hazardous and uncomfortable to confront them and make a constructive change. However, Jung maintained that facing our shadow is the first step in any all-encompassing psychological approach. Our innermost selves, the ones we're embarrassed of, are known as our shadows. It's the darker half of ourselves that we would want to hide. Everybody has a shadow, and the more we hide it, the stronger and darker it becomes, according to Jung. Facing our shadows is essential to personal development. We may take charge of our shortcomings when we accept them. Anything that is aware may be remedied, but anything that is unconscious cannot be repaired, according to Jung. In addition to its shortcomings, the shadow also has virtues that might improve our life. Recognizing what irritates us in others may expose our own hidden side. We project our repressed tendencies onto others around us, which is why we frequently see components of our shadow in them. By considering the reasons behind our acts, particularly those that cause us to feel humiliated, we might also reveal our shadow. It's important to be honest with ourselves. Finding purpose in life is another important aspect of Jung's method, particularly when dealing with anxiety or despair. He thought it was essential to play a big part in the theatre of life. Hence, His emphasis was on accepting the present, comprehending our shadow, and figuring out our purpose rather than wallowing in the past. For example, some individuals have a tendency to repress their need to protect themselves or voice their displeasure. Recognizing and comprehending these repressed elements, often called the shadow, also gives us access to positive attributes that might improve our lives. According to Jung, there are aspects of the shadow that have the potential to improve human life. But we usually become conscious of our shadows when we see the shortcomings, imperfections, and fears in others who are near to us. This is due to the fact that we project our own shadow selves onto other people in addition to suppressing comparable tendencies inside ourselves. Through identifying the traits in our friends and family that irritate us, we might get a glimpse of our own shadow. Thinking back on the reasons behind our deeds, particularly the ones we feel guilty about, and being willing to criticize ourselves when needed are more ways to bring the shadow into our consciousness. As Jung noted, our capacity for self-honesty is often the only thing standing between us and our shadow. Finding purpose in life for his patients was a vital component of Jung's therapeutic method, in addition to raising awareness of the shadow. Jung felt that having a major part in life's drama is essential for someone who is really sad or anxious. Take, for example, a meeting Jung had in the early 1900s with the head of a Pueblo tribe. The chief outlined the customs of their tribe, stressing that it was their responsibility to assist in the sun's daily ascent over the horizon. He said that this was in the best interests of America and the globe at large, not just them. Although this may seem weird to contemporary ears, Jung noted that many in the modern world suffered from neuroses, anxiety disorders, and depression. None of these conditions affected the members of this tribe. They weren't dependent on medications or get into addictions. Rather, they had a purpose and significance in their life. Comparing them to a Western lady he met, Jung said they had a natural and full dignity, whereas she was always moving, searching but never really finding what she was looking for. My eyes widened as I looked into hers. They had the expression of an animal trapped in a frantic hunt for purpose. I pondered why this hunger for knowledge was taking over her. It became evident that her life had no meaning and was excruciatingly routine. She felt like nothing, so even if she disappeared today, there would be no trace. Many people in the West suffer from this obsessive hunt. Some jump about from one destiny to another, seek love relationships, or become fixated with money, status, or recognition. Beneath these diverse interests, however, is a shared drive, the need to escape the emptiness of their life. As Jung argues, they are attempting to fill a gap that cannot be filled by things or experiences. According to Jung, the only way to fill this emptiness is to realize that we are leading significant lives. What a wonderful thing it would be if she could declare, "Every night I help the moon, my mother, rise above the horizon." Her life would change and become meaningful for everyone, including herself. Inner tranquility comes from having a purpose. The only thing that really provides purpose to life is when individuals see themselves as players in a divine drama. Everything else is insignificant, even having a work or raising kids. This is the whole total of it all. Is there a purpose to your life? Jung is not advocating for everyone to embrace Pueblo mythology. Rather, he is drawing attention to the pain that many people experience when their lives lack purpose. Finding this meaning is the work for individuals who want to overcome sadness or anxiety. Whether it be via religion, promoting ideals like justice or community, or engaging in artistic endeavors, we must find a method to defend our existence. It is our individual responsibility to choose how we might contribute meaningfully to the divine drama of life. Success will determine one's own destiny. However, years or even decades of pointless agony and never-ending search are in store for those who don't succeed. I just care about each person's realization of their inherent potential, as stated by Carl Jung. The real issue is that. Thus, let's endeavour to assist our own figurative moon in rising over the horizon and discovering our own special route to a meaningful existence. I appreciate you making it to the conclusion, and maybe this contemplation has been enlightening. Consider subscribing to the Stoic Land if you're new here. I'll see you shortly.